Hello and welcome to another episode of the In-Depth series. My name is Pooja Devedi. Today we are going to discuss in brief about the sovereign green bonds. What are these? What is the backdrop? Why we are discussing it? What is the benefit for the investors? How is it going to trap the benefit for the climate change and many other things? So without any further ado, let us move ahead and talk about these many topics. First of all, we are going to discuss the backdrop. The green bonds, why are these important? How is it beneficial for investors? What is the status as of September 2022? And when did the government plan these bonds? About sovereign green bond framework, we also are going to discuss. So the RBI, it is auctioning two green bonds with tenures of 5 years of maturity and 10 years. And it is worth rupees 4,000 crore each. And these two bonds are to be auctioned yesterday. This is written today, but it was yesterday, 26th of January 2022. These are new GOI, Sovereign Green Bond 2028, and new Government of India Sovereign Green Bond 2033. So, what are these green bonds? Let us look at them. It is basically a debt instrument in which the government issues these bonds. I am an investor, I am giving the money to the government through these green bonds. Now, this is issued by either the central or the state government. And this is, of course, in order to borrow money from the investors. And this is also having a commitment that whatever money I'm giving through the sovereign green bonds, this will be invested to be spent on climate or ecosystem related activities. Activities will also be discussed. Moving ahead, 2016 was the year from which we have seen that sovereign green bonds came into the picture. It was the Polish government that launched this. As of September 2022, because we know the green bond framework was launched recently by India, so that is also important for us to understand. As many as 38 central governments have issued green bonds so far. If a government has issued a sovereign green bond, especially the first one, it improves the overall standard of green issuance across the nation. So this is the first benefit, that more awareness is created about green bonds, about renewable energy, about green energy. The companies also begin to follow the standard which has been set by the government of India, and that is with respect to sovereign green bond only. Other companies might also want to issue sovereign green bonds, and for that people like us can invest, and hence they will get what? Money, and that money will be spent on different green projects, and that also means there will be a lot of transparency as well and not just greenwashing. Now, it emerged as an important financial instrument when it comes to dealing with threats of climate change. Just remember one thing. This commitment to climate change, to curb climate change, is it's not taken seriously. Why am I saying that? Because developed countries, time and again have promised that they will raise certain amount of money by the end of this certain year in order to give financial assistance to developing and small island countries so that they can have technologies to adopt and adapt to climate change. But nothing as of significance has been done as of yet. So when you have a different category of bond, it makes a very big and a very considerable impression that this particular nation is serious about climate change. According to the International Finance Corporation, climate change basically threatens communities and economies and possesses risk for agriculture, food and water supplies, which India, we have to remember, India is an agriculture dependent country. We live in a tropical region, it's a tropical country, and we have to remember that any disaster, natural disaster, should impact India more than most of other countries. Of course, other tropical countries also will meet the same mark. So that is why it is important for India to tap the benefit of sovereign green bonds. Green bonds, they offer investors a platform to engage in good practices. Good practices like, if I have invested through green bonds, now I will be having a feel good impact on me, that of course Even if I'm buying a plastic straw, plastic cup, I will feel that, okay, I have given this much of money for transition projects such as green projects. Now, I might not want to feel guilty about it. But of course, if I'm going to do that, I'm defeating the entire purpose. So, of course, it gives you a feel good impact, and it also influences the business strategy of bond issuers. Now, we have to understand that if Reliance engages in issuing of sovereign green bonds, what will happen? First of all, it will raise the respect for Reliance in the market. It will also help the country to achieve its nationally determined contributions, which India already has promised, but in a better way because private sector is also engaging in it. Other than that, accountability can also be pinned on such issuance. Now, if I invest in green bonds, such as I do invest in green bond, it will be a hedge against climate change risk while achieving at least similar returns on their investment, if not more. So if I have invested through sovereign green bonds, first of all, the feel good. Another thing that I have made changes, I have financed the technologies that will help in curbing climate change. Now this will also give me proper return. So I have already hedged against my investment and my climate change, my own personal climate change engagement as well. It also indirectly works to disincentivize high carbon emitting projects as per the IFC. Now, if I have two, options to either invest into a coal mining company or to invest in sovereign green bond, I will definitely invest in sovereign green bond. Why? Because there are two facets. If I am getting the same return, if not more, I am at least from my side making certain impact on the green transition. This is what the addition is there. So there is the de-incentivization plays here only. That first of all, I have shown my interest as a consumer in the green energy. Secondly, if I have invested in sovereign green bond, now the economy will have less money for investing in coal mining companies. So this is also one of the factors. Now, if we talk about status of green bonds, let us see. The environmental, social and governance funds are estimated at US $40 trillion, with Europe accounting for about half of this. It is estimated that by 2025, ESG assets will account for about 1/3 of the total global assets under management. For a nation like India, according to the Climate Bonds Initiative, an international organization working to mobilize the global capital for climate action, has said Indian entities have issued green bonds for over USD 18 billion. Okay. Moving ahead, if we talk about the government's plan, when did it plan to do this? It was in August 2022, in which India promised that it will reduce emissions intensity of GDP 45% from the 2005 by 2030 level. This was earlier 33 to 35%, but India revised its commitment. Also, to achieve about 50% cumulative electric power installed capacity from non-fossil based fuel in the same year it did. So earlier it was 40%, but again NDC under Paris Agreement was revised to 50%. So India has to achieve these two. This will be done only with the help of transition. Transition needs money. Money will come from green bonds, these particular green bonds. Okay. And it was only in the year 2020, it was only in the Union Budget of 2022-23, which made an announcement to issue sovereign green bonds. According to now the data that we have found, India's financing of such renewable energy projects and green projects, it was largely done from domestic sources. Now, what do we want? We want the sovereign green bonds to go global. We want green bonds to go global. And that is why now we are attracting foreign investment in this. Now, also India wants to tap the requisite finance from potential investors. Specifically, if we not talk about the private, but public sector undertakings. Now, another important fact that we have to discuss over here, that in November 2022, Sovereign Green Bond Framework was launched. It was done in accordance with the Green Financing Working Committee, which talked about the framework, how to formulate it. This framework has been rated medium green with a good governance score by a Norway-based independent second opinion provider, Cicero. There is a problem with this medium green. Medium green projects or medium green rating is done for those green projects for those projects which will help in getting us cleaner energy, that yes, it has a good long-term impact. The vision has a good long-term impact, but the projects are not there as of yet. So the projects have not actually been established, but if they are established, they will get into the moderate green projects, green category. So what has happened, that this has been criticized because we have to be dark green. Dark green is where the projects have already been established and now they will achieve the long-term vision of becoming a green economy, a green energy economy. All fossil fuel related projects have been kept out of the framework, so no coal. Along with the biomass based renewable energy projects, they rely on feedstock from protected areas. So what we will do is we will ensure that projects such as renewable energy, clean transportation, energy efficiency, climate change adaptation, sustainable water and waste management, pollution and prevention control, and green buildings. These all are financed with the help of such sovereign green bonds. In renewable energy, investment will be made in solar, wind, biomass, and hydro power energy projects. So that's it. Today we have discussed a very important chapter or a segment from the perspective of GS Mains Paper 3 and also from the perspective of GS Mains Paper 4. So it is important for you to understand the facets of it. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. Stay engaged.